Hey everybody, welcome back. If you're just joining us for the first time, my name is Pippa and I share knowledge about business analysis career and the business analyst lifestyle. I've been a business analyst for over a decade, so I feel that I'm able to share this knowledge. But yeah, let's get right into it. Today's video, I want to talk about explaining technical jargon to non-technical stakeholders. In my last video, I talked about how to work with QA, with testers and developers. And I mentioned that as business analysts, we bridge the gap between the technical team and the business, right? So now I kind of want to focus on the business side because, again, we have to, in the same way that we're building relationship with the technical team, we also have to ensure that we're communicating effectively and building the relationship with the non-technical teams who are the business stakeholders, right? So sometimes when we talk to stakeholders, there are certain terms, certain technical jargons that come up that as business analysts, we need to ensure, again, you want to bridge the gap. It's about bridging the gap. So have you ever been in a meeting where technical jargon flies over everyone's head? I have. As a business analyst, you have to be able to ensure that both teams are understanding each other, really. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 7 strategies to simplify complex concepts and to ensure alignment across your teams. So let's dive right in. So why does simplifying jargon matter? Why does it matter? Technical jargon is like a foreign language to non-technical stakeholders. It makes no sense, right? And miscommunication leads to misunderstandings, delays, and sometimes costly mistakes, right? So your job as a business analyst is to act as that translator, ensuring that everyone understands the goals, the processes, and the outcomes clearly. So remember that simplifying these words doesn't mean that you are oversimplifying them. It's just about clarity and not sort of dumbing things down, right? So here are the 7 strategies that I talked about. Number 1, use analogies, right? Analogies are a great way to explain technical concepts. For example, APIs. APIs can be described as a restaurant menu. I use this all the time. So it tells you what dishes you can order, but it doesn't tell you how the food is prepared in the kitchen, right? So analogies try to make abstract ideas more relatable. So if you come across certain terms or certain descriptive words that are technical, try to use analogies to explain them better to your stakeholders so that they really understand in their own sense what it means. The second strategy is to focus on the outcomes, right? Stakeholders care about results. They don't care about the technical details. They don't want to hear it, right? So instead of saying things like, oh, we're going to be deploying these Kubernetes clusters, right? Try to say something like, we're setting up a system to ensure that your website never goes down, rather than using technical terms so that they really understand what you mean. They don't care about the back-end processes, the back-end flows. Tell them exactly what they want to see, exactly how it would display, for instance, on the screen, right? So as business analysts, again, you want to make sure that you're ensuring that everybody understands what the project is about, what the outcomes are, and nothing remains sort of hanging. A third strategy is to simplify visuals. Simplify visuals. Diagrams and flowcharts can really explain complex systems, right? So try to use tools such as Lucidchart, Visio, Miro. Try to create visuals that break processes into clear, digestible steps, right? And try to remember that the simpler, the better. Don't go too in detail when you're creating your visual. Just make sure that there is not too much information that your stakeholders aren't able to understand what you're trying to convey. This brings me to the 4th. This is the 4th strategy. Avoid overloading your stakeholders with information. Stick to what's relevant. Share only the key points that the stakeholders need to know so that they are able to make these decisions, right? If they're curious, you can always provide more detail later. The fifth strategy is to translate technical terms, right? So when you use terms like APIs, REST APIs, Agile, ETL, always follow them with an explanation, right? So for example, ETL stands for extract, transform, and load, right? It's a process for moving and cleaning data. So when you use those words, those acronyms, try to explain to them what they mean and how they relate to what you're talking about, right? The sixth strategy is to encourage two-way communication. After explaining a concept, ask for feedback or clarification, such as, does that make sense? Do you have any questions about how this will impact your team? This really will ensure alignment with understanding. So you always want to check that they actually understand what you're saying. This brings me to the seventh strategy. Tailor your approach. Tailor your approach. Different stakeholders have different levels of technical knowledge. Some stakeholders do have high technical knowledge, right? But try to adapt your communication style for each audience, right? Executives might need a high-level summary, while end users might need practical examples. So try to make sure that you are understanding who your key stakeholders are, what role they play in the project, and how you can better communicate with them. So one of the key tools that we use is to identify your stakeholders first. Who are your key stakeholders? What level of power and interest do they have on the project? That will then help you to manage the communication better. I have an existing video as well about stakeholder management. Click the link to watch. So as much as these strategies exist, you can experience challenges, right? So let's explore some common challenges and solutions to these. Challenge number 1. Stakeholders still don't understand after applying those 7 strategies. The solution here is to try to follow up with detailed documentation or recap email with diagrams, right? Another challenge is that the stakeholders are intimidated or disengaged. I've been on the other end too, feeling intimidated. So the solution here is to try to use a friendly and approachable tone. Emphasize to stakeholders that no question is too basic. No question is a stupid question, right? Try to make them feel comfortable, right? That they can clarify anything that they don't understand. The third challenge could be that there is too many people in the room with different levels of knowledge. Now, this comes about especially when we're doing workshops as business analysts. Now, the reason why I'm really specific on this one is because I've also been on the other end and not having the same knowledge as everybody else. Again, go back to those strategies on how to explain and communicate better with different types of stakeholders. But the solution here is for you to segment your meetings by the audience type, or provide a pre-meeting guide to set the level of expectations for every stakeholder during your workshops. So that's it. I hope that these strategies, challenges, and solutions to them will help you when you face this sort of interaction with stakeholders, which you will as a business analyst. Simplifying technical jargon takes practice, but it's one of the most valuable skills that a business analyst can have. Okay, so if you found these tips helpful, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos. If you're looking for personalized support, check out my mentorship program in the link below. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Peace.